Welcome to another edition of a Sport of Law Battle Rap Edition. I am your host, TD Berry, the judge, jury, prosecutor, and defense. Tonight we're going to recap two battles. First battle is a URL battle off of Rookies versus Vets. The Rookies versus Vets card which was Charlie Clips versus T Top, and I'm going to recap Born versus Xcel from the Battle on Olympus card by Syndicate Cartel. So let's get right into it. First battle I'm gonna do is Charlie Clips versus T Top. Shout out to both of these MCs, man. It was a good battle. A lot of people saying Clips didn't really bring it. I mean, I guess when you seen better from a person, they everybody just think that you a certain battle. If they don't see your best, they think you didn't really bring it. I think Clips did enough to win the battle. I'm going to say Clips won this battle 2-1. I gave Clips the first and the third. Clips had a dope third. Who went first? T Top went first. You know, he started off pretty good. He had a couple haymaker lines. In his first, he had to knock the DNA out your mouth so they look like clones. Bar. He had the clip worth 2 good rounds. Like something he said in my clip worth 2 good rounds. Like your bitch ass. Talking about Clips. Only really bringing 2 rounds to his battles. Um, he had a couple other bars. He had the better a hollow before the dime get you, meaning better my hollow get you before hollow the dime kill you, which I mean that was cool. Clips came on in the first with this big T top flip that he did that he said 4 different ways. I'm the reason it's gonna be big T top. Life after death, something you can ask Big T top. Uh, Same thing that happened to Big T Top for what he said for coming on the stage with Miss Gracie Legs and Big T Top. That was funny. That was dope and funny at the same time. I was cracking up. Clips had a very good first round to me. We had the dropping mic like Joe Buttons for the third round. They'd be dropping mic like Joe Buttons. In reference to the total slaughter. He had this line about uh, T Top chick talking about she gave him top or something like that, and that Rosa Parks would have been so proud the way she fought for the bus. Then he had this North Carolina scheme where he named all these North Carolina cities. Um, it was a dope scheme, and he ended it something with ain't nobody from North Carolina going NC, pretty much saying NC the initials and NC ain't nobody going to NC. So I mean that was dope. He made a reference to Prez Mafia leaving the URL because of T Top and had a Monica Lewinsky punchline because of that. Prez left because of Top. Um, because the president in all reality didn't leave because of that situation, but I get what he was saying. It was dope. I mean, I ain't gonna reach and say it wasn't dope. It was definitely a dope bar. Then he ended it in his round. He had that I give you 12 Ks for nothing, like I'm Danny Myers in reference to Danny Myers paying T Rex 12 Ks and still not getting a battle from him. So that was dope. So I gave that round to Clips. T Top came on in the second, man. He came on strong. It was his best round. He was rolling. It wasn't so much more so the actual bars, but his aggression was up, man. He was more relentless. He was more ferocious in the second round. So I gave him that. He had the how many times are we gonna guess what room in the same house bar, which was I mean in reference to Charlie Clip's famous guess what room I'm in scheme that he uses. Um, he was just rolling. He had this little story breakdown about running in Charlie's crib and hitting his girl and his daughter. But I mean, you gotta actually see it. I ain't gonna sit here and like rap the whole thing, but excuse me, but it was a dope sequence, and he just rolled with it, and it hit hard. Um, then he had my dog snooping on your roof, like had my dog snooping on your roof where Charlie Brown, I think, in reference to the Snoopy. Then he referenced Clips not getting signed by Dipset. He was supposed to get signed by Dipset, and it was out of him and Hell Rell, and they end up taking Hell Rell, aka Ruger, and it was a line about something about they took Ruger and forgot Clips. That was a dope bar. Um, and Clips came on in the second, and he started his second similar to how he started his second. Was it the second? One of his rounds against Daylight. I think it was the second, and he's started off like where the game went. Every time I look at y'all doing some lame. It just sounded very similar to how he did his second round against Daylight. Then he kind of mimicked the PGs and all the PGs. He did have this house party scheme that he threw in there, which sounded cool, but I heard it and I can't remember where I heard it at. If anybody's watched this and they can tell me, please let me know because I really don't remember. Um, and then he pretty much just name flipped all the PGs and did a little PG scheme where he came in all the PGs and like flipped their names. That was pretty much everything I made note of in a second that hit to me. So Charlie Clip's second was kind of lackluster, and I just gave that round to T Top. T Top's third, he uh he went back to his what he does. He used Clip's name to make a reference to something that happened in his past, saying he'd been fighting Clips and he was in his mom's stomach since his dad pistol whipped her while she was pregnant. I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna like downplay it. It definitely was a good sequence that he had. Then he had a line about emptying clips and filling them up at the same time, meaning he's going to empty the clip of his gun, but he's filling up clips with the bullets at the same time. That was dope. Um, he made a mention of the fight in LA with Disaster, saying how Mav supposed to be his homie, and he wasn't riding right. And he told Briz, if anything happened similar, he pretty much was just telling Briz like he rocking out with him if something happened like that. He's not gonna take the Charlie Clips route. And then he had a line about I don't know, getting $1,000 to kill Clips. He said I'm a drug lord. I'm only charging a rack a tear, which I mean that's only charging a rack a tear, meaning a rack for every top tier dude he got killed with. I mean that was a dope a dope line. Then he had it was another line I think in his third, but I mean that was pretty much it. Clips came on in the third. He pretty much exposed and addressed how T Top doesn't address his opponents in his battles. He like just talks open about his life and his past, and you know what I mean. Don't nobody want to hear that. And Clip said he can't write about his past because he'll get too mad. His past was too real. He had a bar that said, "I'm Cam and Ghostface. That's twice the killer." That was dope. Um, he had this line, something. He said Maury show called DNA. He'll know who to pop. Which I mean, that's a line that we've heard a couple times. A lot of people made the Maury who to pop gun reference. I know Conceited said something similar before. Um, but then he did the Sports Center sound again that he did against Rex. I think when he said then and then. You'll hear that before the Ruger pop. He interview give top 10. He'll meet Stuart Scott. That was crazy. Um, yeah, that was crazy. So I gave Clips the third, but overall, T Top he brung it. He didn't back down from so-called best out right now. And he accepted the challenge and he stood his ground and went toe to toe. So I commend T Top. Dope battle, but I give it the now for the Xcel versus Born battle off the battle on Olympus card from Syndicate Cartel. This was pretty lopsided to me. Xcel came with some stuff, but Bourne was in good form that night, man. He was in great form. He came out, man. He threw a ton of punches. I think Bourne went first in the first round, and they normally say whoever goes first normally don't have the advantage, but he took the first. He went first, and he set the bar actually kind of high when he went. He had the he said bark something like make your ass look sloppy cause cellulite, cellulite, cellulite. That was dope. He had the expendable scheme in the first. Not a scheme. He mentioned the expendables and he like named like the last names of it. I wouldn't call it a whole scheme. It was like a bar long scheme, 2 bar long scheme or something like that. Um, he had to put cellmate in the cast like prison break. That was dope. He had to lift you 6 inches off the ground. That's stiletto height. Uh, that was a dope one. It, I mean, his first. I think his first might have been his weakest one, or maybe his third. But Xcel came on in the first. All Xcel rounds was short. Like he had short rounds. Xcel was saying some stuff. It was like as soon as you get into his round, he was cutting the round short. Um, I don't know. I don't know if they had time limits or what, but Xcel had to. He came on with a couple Bourne name flips. Name flip Bourne. He had his line said, "He the truth. I'll stretch him. Don't be exaggerated." That was dope. And it's something about you get a liquid diet. I can assure you. That was a dope one. Round two, Bourne. That was his best one. And Bourne just threw a bunch of he threw a bunch of punches out there. He said something about putting your ants in the ground to live a bug's life, meaning like ant, whatever. Some people say ant, but he talking about the movie A Bug's Life with the ants. And he followed it with Sean Kipp, Gary Payton, 40 with the glove type, meaning Sean Kipp, Jersey 40, Gary Payton glove 40 with the glove. That was crazy. Watched X get the text faster than a drunk night. You know, Meaning people always text their ex when they drunk. He addressed some domestic violence issues. Xcel had something about beating up his girl. Um, he had this line, being a lush, one would tell you. He said, being a lush, one would tell you it gets serious for money soon as they film. I forgot. It was something that had to do with Lush and Lush One and Sirius Jones issue from the Ether Battle situation, but that was crazy. Like if you see it, like I like messed the joint all up. But yeah, that was a. Then he had this little Washington Wizards scheme where he said I don't throw back bullets, meaning Wizards they used to be the Bullets. Then he like named like a couple of the Wizards players or whatever. So yeah, that was dope. Uh, he had this line, how your mom be crying, holding cell like central booking, meaning like central booking is the priest in jail. They got holding cells in it. That was he had this accelerate breakdown where he said accelerate and like said it like 4 different ways. Um, he had a couple more name flips for him. Uh, and he just like that was a superb second round from Warren. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. And Xcel just came back. He rebutted the domestic violence bars a little bit. It was a dope rebuttal. How he ended up saying it. And he had this math scheme where he said like a couple math references, like mathematics references. Um, he had to to muffle touch metal to muffle you. Come meet with Midas line. That was dope. But he had this line saying, "Ironic, you started choking right when the gassing stopped." Meaning, you started choking in your battles once the fans stopped gassing you. Like, ironic, you started choking when the gassing stopped. That was dope. But then that was like pretty much all he had. He cut short again. Round three, Bourne just came out punching. I don't even remember half the punches. Like he said, he just came out punching, 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 punching. He threw in a 50 Cent scheme in there where he named like a couple of 50 Cent songs. and he just threw more and more punches. And Xcel once again, like he came in the third. He had a couple dope lines, and he just ended it. He ended it very short. So I gave this a Bourne 3-0. It was no question. Bourne pretty much took all 3 rounds. Xcel had some stuff, but it was just too short. At least for my liking. So there you go, Bourne 3-0 over Xcel. I would like to see Bourne back in the ring soon. So that's it for this recap. You can check me out on Blog Talk Radio for battle rap. I do Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. I talk battle rap. Saturday mornings 9 a.m. talking sports. This Wednesday night, which would be what, May the 12th, 13th, I don't know. But we talking Gnome 5. So check me out Wednesday nights on Blog Talk Radio at www.blogtalkradio.com/a sport of law. I'm on Twitter at tdberry underscore. And you can check out my blog site at www.tdberry.com. So y'all be cool. How y'all be cool? Till next time.